Argent Saga intro deck air. Now tone it down. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Just Add Misplay, and today we're going to go over the green air deck tech for Argent Saga. This is 100% the starter deck, so every card in here will come with the starter deck, which I think the MSRP on that is about $20. I picked up this entire deck for roughly, I think it was $11 on eBay total. So I wanted to go over the cards in the deck, and now that I got some playtime under my belt, I wanted to evaluate the cards in here, and now that I have a little bit more experience. So let's get started. Our champion in the deck is Eitan, the Exiled Prince. He's a champion of the deck. Once per turn, pay 1 and sacrifice a unit you control. Put into play 1 air unit from your hand whose cost is 1 greater than the sacrificed unit. So he's kind of like a ramp, but from the way that I've noticed when he was my champion, you can't really combo with him on like turn 1 or anything. It's more like you set up, and then you set up for the next turn with him, which in a way is ramp, but it's just like a delayed version. So which is still pretty good. I would like to keep playtesting him and really see if I can like find a way to break him, or to maybe I'm playing wrong, but I've only used the cards in the starter deck. So once we upgrade it, maybe it'll flow even nicer. The champion pet is or it might be a companion, is Kite, the air spirit. And Kite was definitely putting in work when I was playtesting this starter deck. Once per turn, during your turn, discard 1 card. Return target air unit you control to its owner's hand, and if you do, switch one of your exhausted shards to active. So this really helps if you have a lot of creatures with or units with arrive effects. So you can just continue to like bounce your own units and play your units again for their arrive effects, which is really nice. And then it has a soul burst, which you can flip it face down and return target unit with cost 3 or less to its owner's hand, which is nice for tempo. It can help yourself bounce your own units as well as the opponent's units. If you're falling behind or your opponent is starting to get a decent board state. One thing I wanted to add with this companion, it seemed like this companion did a lot more work for me just with all the cards in the starter deck than the champion actually did. So I just wanted to mention that. All right, and going through the deck, again, this is 100% the starter deck. So I didn't add any cards yet. I'm going to do that in a future video. First card is the Skyship Engineer. It's a 1-drop unit. Cost 1 for 1,000. Exhaust. Return this card to its owner's hand, and if you do, your airship units cost 1 less to play this turn. This card was fine. The deck comes with 3 copies of it. It was fine. It's a 1-drop for 1,000, which is like a standard rate. And then this ability came in handy maybe a couple times, but if you don't have an airship, or if you're not built around having like lower cost airships, it really just, it was almost like a dead ability for a long time during the game. Moving on to the next unit, we got 3 copies of Sky Recruit. So arrive, you get to add 1 Sky Recruit from your deck to your hand. This card was pretty good. I liked it a lot. You play it for 1, and then you get to search another one from your deck, which is going to get the 3rd one from your deck. It keeps giving you cards to throw on the field, to keep the game going. And that low casting cost will also help reveal the opponent's towers early on, so you can destroy them in the order that you want to destroy them. The next one drops is actually an instant cast. There's 3 of these, and actually every card in this deck has 3 copies except for 1. So I might stop mentioning that they're 3, and I'll just show you guys. It's called Tornado Shot. It's an instant cast. Play only if an air unit returned to your hand from the field this turn. And then it says deal 2,000 to target unit. This card's insane. It puts in work. It removes the any like potential low threats that might be on the battlefield, and it also bounces. Or no, I'm sorry, it doesn't bounce one of your air units, but that ability to you can only play it if you return to your hand an air unit this turn. Like, that's easy to do with this deck. So definitely approve of it. Let's talk about the next card, Royal Deflection. It's our first 2 casts, so we're just going to order from the cost over here in the corner, going up to the lowest cost to highest cost. And this card right here, Royal Reflection, change the target of spell or ability to another legal target. This card was complete garbage for me. I would not keep this in the deck at all. It was just a card that was just dead in the hand the entire game. Next 2 costs is Hurricane Shot. You get 3 of these bad boys. It's an instant cast. As additional cost to play this card, return an air unit from your field to its owner's hand. Destroy target unit with cost 4 or less. Look at that flavor text. It got you. That's exactly what sums this up. This card is insane. It synergizes with your champion over here and your companion. Probably more with the companion, honestly. But it's really good. It's removal. It's solid. I'd add more than 3 if I could, but you can't. That's breaking the rules, people. You can't break the rules. So our first unit in the 2-drop slot is Skytree Aviator. 3 copies of this as well. 2-drop for 1,000 power. Exhaust. Return this unit to its owner's hand, and if you do, airship units you control get plus 1,000 this turn. This card really didn't do much for me. It was nice to have that effect, and I felt like every game I played, I honestly didn't even have an airship on the field until it was like too late in the game. Like, it didn't really do much. All the airships in this starter deck are like way higher costed than usual. Like, well, I don't know what usual is, to be honest, but they cost like 4, 5, 6 mana, which by then you don't want to be playing that game. Our last 2-drop unit right here is Kala, the Trusty Companion. There's 3 of them. It's a 2-drop with 1,000 power. It's a unit. If you control an Ariana unit, this card costs 1 less to play. And if Ariana unit would be destroyed, you can destroy this card instead. It's a koala. That's like a pet. And I'm going to show you the next card that we're going to go through is Ariana. So when Ariana comes into play, it's our first 3-drop. Comes into play, you get to search your deck for Kayla. Okay. And Kayla says, if you control Ariana, you get to play it for 1 less. So it'll cost 1 mana to play it. That's really good. And when she comes into play, you search your deck for Kayla. It's so good. And then if you bounce her, you play her again, you get another Kayla. This card and the koala bear is so good. Like, it was probably my favorite part about this deck, to be honest. Like, I loved how they just like tie in together. Like, look at him. He's in her art. And like, if you go back to his art, like, he's rocking the goggles, he's being all cute. Keep him in the deck. Like, and then you can pay 1 and return it to its owner's hand so that you can keep getting all the koalas and playing them for 1 mana. It's a solid card. All right. So each starter deck only has, here we go, bumping the camera. Got a little excited there, sorry. So each starter deck has 1 like card in it that doesn't have 3 copies, and this is the green, the air unit that there's only 1 copy of for this starter deck. So it's cost 3. It's 1,500. That art is beautiful, by the way. Great Hawk of the Cloud Sea. It's a unit. Arrive. If there's a destroyed air tower, yours or your opponent's, you can exhaust a target unit and return another target unit to its owner's hand. I love this card. I really did. I think it's great, and I would definitely bump this up to 3. Definitely have more than one. And I can think of plenty of cards from the starter deck that I would take out. Speaking of which, this is probably one of them. It's a cool looking card. It's the Skytree. It's a dragon. So you want to keep it and you want it to be great. 3-drop, 2000 power. When it arrives, if 2 or more of your air units have returned to your hand from the this turn from the field, return target unit to its owner's hand. 2 units. Okay, that's so hard to do. At least the games I played, and with the way this starter deck synergizes with itself, which it doesn't really do that great. It might be better, I guess, if I do an upgrade, it might perform a lot better. Actually, I'm pretty sure it would if you build it around it, but I don't think it's that great. And when it attacks, the target unit can't use Guardian. Big whoop. That's really not, it's not worth jumping through all these hoops to do. So it's cool. It's a dragon. It's just lackluster, to be honest with you. Our first 4-drop and also our first Skyship is a Skytree Sandship. 4-drop for 2000. Arrive. Exhaust target unit. Ruined. So when this card is destroyed or sacrificed, you put target Sky Rainer unit with cost 2 or less from your discard zone into play. I like this card. I got to play with it, and I love the fact that it gets to exhaust an opponent's... Well, you can exhaust your own, but I don't really see the point in doing that. You exhaust target unit when it enters the battlefield, which is really, really helpful. I liked it. I don't know if I would run 3. I'd maybe drop it down to 2, but I thought it was pretty sweet. Definitely got my approval. Our second Skyship costs 4 as well. 2500 power, Skytree Blockade Ship. It's an airship and it has Guardian. Units in front of this card cannot attack. Okay, that's a pretty decent ability for 4 mana. I liked it. I only got to play it once, but when I did, it was nice. It kind of gave me a turn to catch up, and this deck definitely needs as many turns as it can get straight from the box. So our only turn 5 cost spell on this deck is a Skytree Battle Cruiser. That artwork is pretty neat. 2500 power. This card cannot be targeted by spells. Okay, not a whole lot of... I've only played these against other basic non-upgraded starter decks from the box because I'm trying to progress and I'm trying to figure out, what is good, and I want to experience playing with every basic starter deck before I go and just switch out cards that I think are better without actually play testing. Because I think that's really important. I think it helps you understand value, what is worth, how much is your... If you have 5 mana, do you really want to spend it on this? Or what would you rather be spending your 5 mana on? That's all I'm saying. Or your shard juice on. That's as the kids are calling it. All right, so you can't be targeted by spells, which didn't seem to be a problem. I don't think anyone wanted to target this guy anyway. And when it's destroyed or sacrifice, you can put target Sky Rainer unit with cost 3 or less from your discard zone into play. Didn't happen. It turns out no one really wants to, it's harder to kill it if it can't be targeted. And even on top of that, I don't know, it's not worth the mana cost. I would definitely cut this if I ever, when I decide to upgrade the deck. Maybe in the next video I'll go over that. Skytree Warship is our last units in the deck and spells. 6-drop for 3000, and it's an airship with destroyer, so it can attack 2 towers. When it arrives, destroy target unit, costs 4 or less. That's pretty good. And then ruined, you can put a target Sky Ranger unit or airship unit with cost 4 or less from discard zone into play. I like it. I would not run 3. Maybe just drop it down to 1. Maybe. But I think that is that costs too much. It's tough to get to turn 6, I think. The game's a little bit faster than that. But if you have a way to ramp, you know, maybe other than just kite over here, maybe it'll go a little different. But once I upgrade the deck, we'll go over it and we'll see if, you know, if it stands the test of time. I don't think so. I think I'll just cut it down to 1. Also, each starter deck comes with 10 basic shards. One of those bad boys is a foily boy. So you get your 10 shards, and bump the camera again, and you get one of each basic tower. And these towers seem to be pretty good. Here, I'll go over them real quick. Tower of Darkness. When it's destroyed, look at your opponent's hand and select 1 card. Then your opponent discards that card. So when your opponent destroys this tower, or this tower just gets destroyed, whatever, this effect activates and it benefits you. These towers are like the main reason that I like love this game so much. Like, it really feels like you can catch up. If you're losing, it gives you a chance to, like, it feels like you're playing the game and you have a fair chance to win even if you're losing. Like, the way these towers balance the game is just so, it's perfection. I love it. Love it. All right, so Tower of Fire, 1000 defense. When it's destroyed, you can destroy target unit. It's great. It's an awesome tower. Tower of Air. When this is destroyed, you can return up to 2 units from the field to their owner's hand. It only has 1000. It's a good tower. Tower of Water, 1500. When this card is destroyed, you can draw 2 cards. That's a great tower. And 1500, Tower of Light. When this card is destroyed, you can put into play a Knight token with Guardian that has 2000 power. That's good. All these towers are good, and every starter deck comes with them. These starter decks that's all you need to play. Okay, and it's really cheap to buy upgrades, and I'll show you some of the upgrades I made in the next video. So that's all we got, and thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and just add misplay. See you in the next video. Hey, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more of my content, or leave a comment below and say something nice. Don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps out a lot. We'll see you again real soon in the next video. Thank you, and have a great day.